Welcome back to Black X Wolf Entertainment, where legendary tales come to life. In our series, our team of rogue time travelers faces ever greater dangers as they race to protect the space-time continuum. Last time they fought through a dystopian future, but now they're headed somewhere even more dangerous, ancient Egypt. Let's dive into Chapter 4.
The travelers' victory in the dystopian future came at a cost. The Syndicate is gaining strength, and their influence has spread across multiple timelines. Flynn, Sayuri, and Caius are weary from their last battle, but their mission offers no respite. Without warning, they are pulled into another era, this time ancient Egypt. The scorching heat hits them as they step out of the portal, standing before the colossal pyramids. Sand stretches in all directions under a blazing sun, while the distant Nile snakes across the horizon.
I think I'd rather deal with the future again. At least there were air conditioners.
Focus. We're not here for sightseeing. The fracture could be anywhere, and the Syndicate may already be entrenched.
Before long, they realize they're not alone. Figures appear in the distance, warriors in golden armor carrying spears and shields led by a figure dressed in regal robes. These are no ordinary soldiers. Their eyes glow with an unnatural energy. The travelers are immediately on guard.
They're under someone's control. Something's not right.
That something might be the Pharaoh we're looking for.
As the soldiers approach, the leader raises a hand, and with a flash of light, the ground beneath the travelers' feet trembles. Sand shifts, forming towering walls around them, trapping them in a labyrinth of golden sand. The travelers find themselves separated within the maze. Each must use their skills to navigate the traps and illusions designed to keep intruders away from the Pharaoh's temple. Meanwhile, Sayuri moves silently, her eyes scanning for weaknesses in the walls. Her training as a samurai sharpens her instincts as she dodges traps that spring from the ground, pits, swinging blades, and falling stones. Sayuri, I've seen worse. Just another challenge. Farther away, Caius uses his brute strength to force his way through the maze, breaking down barriers with sheer power. His impatience grows with each dead end. Caius, this pharaoh better be worth it. As they struggle through the maze, the travelers discover symbols etched into the walls, hieroglyphics that speak of a pharaoh blessed with eternal life granted by a fracture in time. The very timeline has warped around him, giving him near godlike powers over both life and death. Eventually, the travelers reunite at the entrance of an enormous temple. Its towering pillars adorned with golden carvings of ancient gods. Inside, the temple is lit by torches, casting shadows that flicker across the stone walls. The air is heavy with the smell of incense and something darker, something twisted by time. They enter the grand hall of the temple, where the pharaoh waits on his golden throne. His presence is overwhelming, taller than any man draped in golden robes, with a staff that crackles with energy. His eyes glow with the same unnatural light as his soldiers. The travelers know they are facing something far beyond human. Pharaoh, you dare stand before me, travelers of time? I have conquered death itself. My power stretches across eternity, and you are but fleeting shadows. The travelers exchange a glance. This will not be an easy fight. The battle begins as the pharaoh summons waves of energy, bending reality to his will. The travelers dodge blasts of power, struggling to get close enough to strike. Flynn works furiously to adjust his tech, searching for a way to disrupt the pharaoh's control over the fracture. Flynn, frustrated, his power, it's feeding off the fracture itself. We need to destabilize it. Sayuri, leave it to me. Sayuri moves like lightning, using her agility to evade the pharaoh's attacks, but every time she gets close, he shifts the very fabric of the room, forcing her back. Caius takes a more direct approach, charging at the pharaoh with all his strength. But the pharaoh simply waves his staff, and Caius is thrown across the room by an invisible force. Caius, gritting his teeth, this guy's tougher than I thought.
Just when it seems the Pharaoh is unstoppable, Flynn manages to create a disruption in the fracture. The temple begins to tremble, cracks forming in the walls as the timeline struggles to right itself. The Pharaoh's control begins to weaken. Flynn, now! While he's vulnerable!
Asterisk Sayuri takes the opportunity, her blade cutting through the air as she strikes the Pharaoh's staff, shattering it in a flash of light. The Pharaoh lets out a roar of fury as his power collapses in on itself.
You may have won this battle, but time itself will betray you. The Syndicate is everywhere.
The Pharaoh crumbles to dust, his centuries of stolen life finally catching up with him. The temple collapses around them as the fracture seals itself, erasing the unnatural power that had warped this timeline. The travelers escape just as the temple falls into ruin, leaving behind only the quiet sands of the desert.
Another fracture fixed, but it feels like we're just putting out fires.
We are, but as long as the Syndicate's out there, we don't have a choice.
They won't stop, and neither will we.
The travelers look out over the vast desert, knowing that their mission is far from over. The Syndicate's reach is growing, and with each fracture they repair, the threat looms larger.
The Travelers have triumphed once again, but the challenges ahead grow ever more dangerous. Can they continue to outwit the Syndicate, or will time itself be their undoing? Stay tuned for the next chapter of Thanks for watching Black X Wolf Entertainment, where legends are born. If you're enjoying the journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic tales. Until next time, stay legendary.